Well, hello everyone. It's Angela with Mystic Moon, bringing you guys a reading today, which is called Cutting Cords. So a couple of weeks ago, I had mentioned that here on my channel, I was going to do a reading that was based on letting go of an ex-lover or just someone from your life where you're ready to let go. Maybe this person is toxic, etc. So obviously, you guys are just going to want to watch this reading if the title resonates for you. We're not going to be going into any kind of a ritual or anything. We're going to be cutting cords with people. If you feel guided to do that sort of thing, definitely do your research on your own. But this is just going to be looking at the situation that we just need to let go of at this particular time. So I will go ahead and just list everything down below. This Orgonite here today is called the Archangel Azrael Orgonite from Michelle from Wing and Bell. So this particular Archangel works with transition and letting go, which is why we are using it today. So anyways, you guys, just like I said, take what resonates for you. Get rid of anything that doesn't. This is really for your own empowerment and healing purposes. That's the focus of this reading today. So anyways, let's get into the reading. And this is a reading that I do offer in my Etsy shop. So if you guys want your own personalized version of this reading, or maybe even a reading that's similar to this, all of my readings right now are 15% off in my Etsy shop, as well as my decks, which are 10% off. So anyways, let's get into it. So I'm going to follow the outline that I've created here for this reading. The very first thing is, what does this person trigger within you? Okay. What does this person trigger within you? What is the energy that comes up here when you're dealing with this individual? What is triggered within you when you're dealing with this person? These cards are called the therapy flashcards. What does this person trigger within you? Okay, so we have unconscious. So I feel like what this is telling us here, you guys, is that anything that you're not conscious of, this person is triggering within you. So maybe some of you guys didn't even realize that you had certain feelings or certain traumas or issues. This person might certainly bring that up in you. So this helps you to become more aware of yourself. What else? Overcompensation. Very interesting. Yeah, that's a huge one. Especially when we feel, we're going overboard. We're overcompensating. We're doing things for people because we feel some sort of lack or we don't feel worthy of ourselves. So this person, it doesn't mean that they're causing you to do this. It means that they are triggering something within you that might want to prove yourself to this individual. You might want to go overboard by over-giving, doing things that maybe you wouldn't normally do, but you're doing for this person. So there's this feeling of maybe you're afraid you're going to lose this individual if you don't do more, or it creates almost like this obsessive frenzy within you that you need to keep trying harder. Okay, so that could also be triggered with this individual as well. Let's see what else. Let's get one last one. We have defense mechanism. So obviously when we're feeling defensive, there's something going on within us. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I feeling so agitated? Why am I feeling so triggered? Well, guess what, you guys? Sometimes we do need to defend ourselves. Sometimes people are just acting like assholes and they're being super toxic, and we do need to defend ourselves against them. So that's not always a bad thing when someone triggers a defense mechanism within you. But if you're finding that you're constantly having to fight for your right to stand up for yourself or to be heard, etc., this is probably happening for a reason, because maybe you don't feel like you are worthy of being heard. So this would be kind of, in a way, a negative aspect of being triggered, but it is to help you. So let's go ahead and break this down. Okay, I'm going to put these two cards to the side and we're going to break it down with some Oracle and Tarot. So this deck right here is called My Twin Flame Journey Shadows. Let's see what's coming through with this unconscious energy here for this trigger. Okay, so we have Foolish. All right. So this is kind of a funny little message that I'm picking up on. So sometimes, when we think certain things, let's just say we fall into a fantasy with somebody, right? We put this person on a pedestal. We pin all of our hopes and our dreams on that person. It's a foolish, childish thing to do. It doesn't matter if you feel certain things or you feel connected to somebody. It's usually not a good idea to to throw all of your eggs into one basket or to give someone that much power in your life. It's a foolish thing to do. It usually doesn't work out too well because you end up losing yourself. You end up basing like that person is the basis of your existence. You lose yourself. You lose touch with reality when we do this. So it's a foolish act, but we're only human. So don't beat yourself up over this, but it could just be that this individual, you maybe had this idea in your head about them that they were someone that maybe they weren't. Maybe you wanted them to be someone, they just turned out not to be that person because it wasn't really who they were. It's just the story that you made up about them. So this unconscious behavior is now conscious coming up through this reading that says, you know what? Now that I've come back down to reality, now that I no longer have rose-colored glasses when I'm looking at this person, I can see how maybe foolish that was. Maybe that wasn't a good idea to get involved or to pin all my hopes and dreams or to go full force with somebody that maybe I didn't really know, or I didn't take the time to get to know this person, or maybe I saw the red flags, but I foolishly discarded them because I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to hear it. Okay, I've gone through that before, you guys. There was someone in my life, oh my gosh, this was many, many, many years ago. And all the red flags were there. They were literally telling me certain things about them. And I was just like, it's not going to apply to me. I also had friends of theirs telling me things about them. I'm like, that just doesn't apply to me. I foolishly discarded all of this information because I didn't want to be done with this person yet. I was very addicted to them. I was very attracted to them. Everything on the outside drew me in, but everything on the inside really was shit. But and then it all blew up in my face in the end, and I felt very foolish at the end of the day. And it took me many, and I'm going to say a ridiculous amount of years to clear this energy and to stop blaming myself for being so freaking foolish, right? So I just feel like if that story resonates with you guys, that could be something that you're going through. So this person that you're dealing with is helping you in a way to become more conscious of your projections, more conscious of your own behavior, gives you an opportunity to take some accountability instead of blaming this person for everything. Some of you guys may have been dealing with somebody that was a supreme manipulator to where you wouldn't know what you were dealing with. So I'm not taking that away from some of you guys out there, but some of us, we knew, and we went into the lion's den anyways. We knew where we were going to get bit, but we did it anyways. Okay? So this person helps you to say, you know what, next time, I'm not going to be so foolish. Next time, I'm going to not judge a book by its cover. I'm not going to get sucked into somebody's outer beauty and then just become a victim to whatever treatment they have of me or whatever. So, all right, this is my Mystics Midnight Tarot. Let's see what else we need to know. Oh my God, you guys, it couldn't have come out any more perfect. The Queen of Blood is the Queen of Cups, gut instincts. So Spirit ain't letting you off that easy. Spirit's telling you that deep down inside, you guys probably felt that something was off, but you discarded it. You didn't want to hear it. You didn't want to listen. And it could even be that some of you guys are even going to say things like this, but all the signs were there. I kept seeing 1111. I kept hearing their name. I kept seeing this. I kept seeing that. Well, when we're too emotionally wrapped up in people and we've got them on our brain 24/7, it's only natural that we're going to start manifesting things in our reality that are connected to that person. So not every single sign, you guys, that we see is the universe telling you, yes, keep going back to that loser. Keep going back to that person that is in a marriage that's not available. Keep going back to that person that lies to you and treats you like crap. Why would the universe be guiding you to someone that treats you like shit? The universe wouldn't. Your own desires and ego, that's what's running the show. So when we're too emotionally wrapped up in someone, we're not able to decipher between our intuition, our higher self, what our gut is really telling us versus what we want to hear or what we want to see. So sometimes we can completely delude ourselves with the things that are happening in our world and the things that are showing up because it's also a frequency. It's a frequency of obsession. And when you're obsessed like this, it's easy to manifest signs like that. So my greatest advice for you guys is if you're feeling like you're in a frenzy with somebody and you're constantly thinking about them and you're, getting tons of readings on this person or doing readings every day or watching readings every day about this person, that is a sign of obsession. It's time to pull back. It's time to take a little bit of a break, ground yourself a little and then listen, tune into your higher self. Your higher self and that frequency will be a little bit clearer than it was when you're in that obsessive, or rather than when you're in an obsessive mode. So I hope that can help someone out there. All right. So let's move on, you guys. So we have overcompensation. I am the queen of overcompensation. I have always had this issue. It is a part of my codependency. So some of you guys identify with being codependents. This might resonate with you, but an overcompensation just stems from low self-worth, low self-value. We don't value ourselves. And so we feel that by doing acts of service for people, that somehow they're going to love us and they're going to really value us because of things that we do. But we don't realize it's actually a manipulation. Now, when you're doing the overgiving, you're not coming from a manipulative place. Like you're not conscious of that. But that is the underlying theme. It's manipulation. You're trying to dazzle someone to get them to like you. But you usually end up totally screwing yourself every single time. And then you say things such as, why do I always get the shit into the stick? Why does nobody appreciate me? Why does everybody screw me over? Well, it's time for us to dig a little bit deeper and figure out why we are overcompensating in the first place. So if you find yourself needing to impress someone, but you can't be yourself and you got to do all this stuff to make people like you, it's time to go within and figure out where is that coming from. So this person might have triggered this behavior in you and you may want to blame them. But what I'm getting here is go a step deeper and examine why you are like this or why you became this way in the first place with this person. Okay. Warning. Yeah. This is really good because I just feel like what Spirit's trying to tell us right now is that this feeling, when you start feeling like you've got to overgive or you've got to dazzle someone, that is a warning sign right there that you are about ready to enter into a toxic part of yourself. Right? Of course, this could be a toxic person as well, but it's not always everyone else. Sometimes it is us, you guys. Sometimes your experiences with people have a lot to do with your own toxicity, but it's always easy to say, this person's toxic, this person's narcissistic, that's why this happened. Sometimes that is the case, but not always. Sometimes it's our own toxic behaviors that cause these issues in these partnerships. So this, again, is tough love here, asking us to take some responsibility for what has happened in these connections. Sometimes people are just turned the hell off when you are so desperately giving and they're giving nothing. And I'm speaking from personal experience. I have turned many a people off before where I was like, oh my God, they're going to totally love me because of all these things that I'm doing. And really, they were disgusted, repelled, and ran for the freaking hills. Okay? So energy sometimes doesn't lie. Energy that's too much, too soon, too quick, hasn't even been really earned yet, can sometimes be a real turnoff. Oh my God. Guys, I'm just getting chills. Spirit is saying it's time to look at ourselves. Okay? This is not a time for us to blame this other person. Yes, this person can be narcissistic. Yes, this person can be toxic. But there's something going on within us. Why are we continuously attracting this type of person to our lives? It's time for us to look at the way we love ourselves or anything that hasn't been healed. Maybe instead of looking for someone to complete us or to make us feel better, it's time for us to self-soothe. It's time for us to examine ourselves and look deeply within to figure out why can't we be happy, or why do I keep recreating the same scenario over and over and over again. So to me, let this particular individual, as crappy as this situation has probably been, this experience, let this be one of your last, right? Let this be your warning of what you don't want to do next time. Let this be your warning of, you know what? I've taken the temperature's really high, I'm sick, I need to get better. I need to work on getting better. Let's do that instead. That's what Spirit's trying to say, okay? All right, our last one for the trigger is defense mechanism. Now remember, you guys, sometimes you do need to defend yourself. Sometimes you're just dealing with people that push you and push you and push you to find your voice, to respect yourself, to say no, to set healthy boundaries. So that could be a good thing too. But it could also be that if we're quick to, flip out on people when they try to bring us some sort of truth and reality, and instead of listening and kind of, maybe being a little bit more open-minded to take what they're saying into account, that maybe we have hurt them too, or maybe we've made them feel a certain way. It's not all about us. Sometimes if we're not ready to hear that, we can just get really defensive and just shut it out and not want to hear it and blame. But when we do that, we stagnate. We don't grow. We don't grow. So this is about examining. If you are feeling defensive when it comes to someone that's tried to tell you something, it doesn't make them right, but it just means take the time to go within and kind of try it on. Try on what they're saying. Give it a chance. And see things from their point of view. That's an excellent exercise, is to see things from other people's point of view. Or instead of reacting, maybe staying silent and maybe react later. Or everything that you're feeling in that moment, you don't have to respond to right away. Take some time and then respond later. Maybe it will be less chaotic if we just take a little bit of a breather or some space and time. So some of you guys may have and rightly so, of course, if someone is coming at you and they're accusing you of things or saying things or doing things, sometimes we need to have a blowout. Absolutely. We're only human. But of course, sometimes after we have these blowouts, then all of the regret sets in. All the, oh gosh, the self-loathing. I wish I wouldn't have done that. Oh, I hate myself that I did this. I wish I wouldn't have responded in this way. So of course, again, learn from this. Learn how to maybe take a little bit of a step back, stay silent, don't respond to that phone call, don't even pick up that phone call, don't respond to that text. You do not have to engage with anyone or do anything unless you choose to. So there could be a good lesson here in this trigger. If this person has triggered this, chaotic behavior or this drama queen in you. I'm just making things up right now. For examples, you don't want to be that person, then it's time for you to grow. It's time for you to change the old tape that's playing in your head. It's time for you to change the way that you respond in situations. Because if you still feel stagnant or if you still feel like things are just, not changing in your life, it's forcing you to make some changes within you, because we can want other people to change all day long. And we'll be waiting forever, okay? You'll hope and pray someone will change. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time it doesn't. So it forces us to have to change something within ourselves, okay? And I know some of us are sick of it. I'm sick and tired of having to change. I'm sick and tired of being the one that has to do all the work. Welcome to my life, okay? Welcome to my life. I feel like that has always been my theme, because it seems that I came here with the theme of wanting to get instant karma and instant understanding and lessons. And everybody, I'm not saying everybody else, but a lot of people are just not, and it's not like a better than, but some people may not have the same, may not have signed up for the same course that I signed up for, which was instant karma, instant lesson, instant realization. Holy shit, this is where I went wrong. And then you just have to sit with it and realize that not everybody else is on that same wavelength, and not everybody else is going to respond or want to fix things or deal with things in the same way that you're wanting to do them. So it can be a lonely road. But let's go ahead and get one last tarot card. Okay, Two of Bones, which is the Two of Pentacles, half in, half out, and I really like that, okay? We don't have to abandon everything, you guys. We don't. Some of us have to. Some of us absolutely have to cut cords and cut ties with people and just be done with it, absolutely. But some of us don't necessarily have to be like, I hate this person, I'm done with this person, they're the most horrible thing in my life, I have to cut cords with them. When we really, what we're doing actually when we are in that mindset, sometimes, we're actually giving that person a lot of power. This person has so much power over me that I've got to block them, I've got to do this, I got to do that. And let me tell you something, there are people in my past where I'm like, you know what? I really don't want to see their shit on my social media. So I'm going to block them because it's really, really triggering to me. So sometimes you do have to do those things. But what it's doing, though, is it's actually giving that person that much power, right? They have that much power that even if you see a post of theirs, they trigger you. Damn. So to me, it's like there's something that we got to work on within ourselves. And I'm still doing that work. But that's just an example for you guys. Sometimes you can just be neutral with people. They don't have to be your freaking enemies, you know? They don't have to be your enemies. You don't have to have a major falling out. Maybe some of you work with this person. Maybe some of you guys are still connected with by children with this person. So you're going to have to deal with them on some level. So this is telling you here that the best thing that you can possibly do is go within yourself, figure out what you can change within you, and then there will be some sort of changes that externally happen because you're changing the way that you're responding to the situation. Now, the other person might not change, but you're changing the way that you respond, and that's the change right there. So you're in a way cutting a cord with this person energetically, even without trying, because you're just changing the way that you respond by not feeding it anymore, by not reacting to this individual. You change the circumstances, you change the reality around the situation. And it might not happen overnight, but sometimes these things take time. Okay? So that is what we have as far as being triggered. So this could be the reason that you're being triggered is to force you, hate to say it, but force you to make positive changes in your life and for yourself. So what are the emotions that you carry with this trauma when it comes to this individual? All right. So what shadow is coming through here when dealing with this individual? What shadow kind of reared its ugly ass head and in a way is forcing you to kind of take a look here? So this is a shadow work oracle here. Emotionally overreacting. Damn. You are overthinking, which is causing a flood of unnecessary emotions. I am the queen of overthinking, okay? I will create a story out of absolutely nothing. The stories that I tell myself are sometimes just so ridiculous, and especially when you get it confirmed from someone where you're just like, actually, that's not what was happening at all. That's not what I was thinking. And then you've created this whole scenario because of the assumptions that you've made. It can sometimes be a very scary reality when you realize just how powerful your mind is. Your mind can tell you things all day long that are not true. So I feel like some of you guys, there could be some sort of old emotional baggage that you're still carrying. So this particular person triggers you in such a way to where it just explodes, bombs in your mind that you're not worthy, you're unlovable, that you'll never be able to trust anyone, et cetera, et cetera. So something is going on here. Again, it's trying to get your attention. Why are you emotionally overreacting to this? Why are you making this the most important thing in your world? Why is your mind now a complete flood of all these unnecessary emotions? Why are all these other things now coming up just because this person said this or did that or didn't do something? Why is this happening? Gives us an opportunity to go deeper. All right, so this is the Shadows and Secrets Oracle by Celestial Forecast by Carrie. Let's see what else is coming up. So I'm going to grab 3 cards, and one may resonate with you guys where others won't. So just take what does. We have the Violinist, we have the Chef, and we have the Nomad. So I'm going to read these here. Okay, the Violinist has a sob story and an excuse for everything. Overly theatrical when upset, creates drama, but tries to gain your sympathies through crocodile tears. All right, so I know that's going to be triggering for some of you guys to hear. And you know how we have that saying, just cry me a river, play the violins or something like that. There could be a tendency for some of you guys to where you're so wrapped up in your emotions and in your trauma that it's literally just coming out, and it's just like the same song and dance in every situation. Even though they're different people, they're different characters in your play, it's just the same drama over and over and over again. So it is giving us an opportunity to say, am I going to be a victim? Am I going to keep crying the same song here? Am I going to keep playing the same tune? Or am I going to change the tune? What am I going to do? And a lot of the times when people are victims, and I've done this many times, where I've had very empowering people in my life, and they were on a very positive path, and they were very much about, high vibrations, and I was in a very low vibration. I created stories that these people hated to be around me, and you know what? Maybe they actually did. So not all the stories that we make up about things are untrue. Some of them were plugged into something accurate, but all the other things that I made up about this person were completely untrue. And it was interesting to have a conversation with this individual about a year later, where I was just like, wow, it really dawned on me how much of that was just fiction that I made up. I created much more of that story than was necessary, but it's a part of my trauma, feeling sorry for myself and being a victim, et cetera, et cetera. So I just feel like a lot of these unnecessary thoughts and emotions come from other traumas. And that's what Spirit's trying to tell us in this reading today. This person triggers you in such a way to perhaps look at some of that trauma so we can finally heal that trauma. Now, how to heal that trauma, I don't have the answers for you guys. The only thing that I can suggest is perhaps taking yourself on a self-help journey, exposing yourself to certain things. There's a couple of different philosophies that I've always worked with. Louise Hay, Science of Mind, to me is very powerful. Also, the Four Agreements from, I think it's Don Ruiz Miguel, very, very great philosophy right there. And then of course there's other ones out there, but find something that works for you. Also, working with an actual therapist, it might not work for everybody because not everybody can afford that, but if you can, that's another great route to go down. Absolutely. Somebody that specializes in particular traumas. Tarot readers aren't going to do it for specific trauma. Sorry, guys. I'm not a PhD here. I'm not a doctor to be able to really help people with deep stuff. And usually people that come to me with deep traumas like that, I'll actually recommend that they work with a therapist instead of working with me. So now we have the chef. A sweet talker, salty personality, deceptive and manipulative, always looking for their next flavor of the month, often cooking up a plan to mislead you in some way, not to be trusted. So check this out, you guys. I'm getting here that is perhaps the person that you guys were dealing with, your flavor of the month. And it's very, very sad when we deal with people like this. A lot of people that are out there that are narcissist or just narcissistic, they try people on, they use them, and then when they're done, they're on to the next thing, unfortunately. So some of you guys could have been sucked into this person's sweet talking. They said a lot of nice things in the beginning, and then when they were done with you, they were just done with you. And that is probably the worst feeling in the world, when someone brings you up to such heights and then you get dropped to such lows. Well, we have to ask ourselves. That situation just sucks on its own, for sure. But when you're the kind of person where you don't have a lot of emotional stability in your life and you're like relying on other people to be your everything, you're going to get on an extreme high. And when this person drops you and you don't have anything else going on, you're going to be in the pits of hell when this person decides to discard you. So that's an indication for you that perhaps, yes, that sucks when someone does that, but the way that it is affecting you could be so crazy and dramatic and just a flood where it's like you feel like you want to pretty much just die. I just feel that if we were in a healthier spot with ourselves, we wouldn't be taken under so quickly by another person's behavior. That's somebody that does this. If we're pretty like we have our independence and we feel good within ourselves, we don't tend to take other people's treatment of us so personally because we're really strong. But when you're not strong and you're really broken and you're looking for other people to complete you, then when they drop you, you're going to feel like you don't even know who you are. So do you see, you guys, what I'm trying to tell you here is that there's things that you can do on your own to strengthen your character and to strengthen the relationship that you have with yourself. So that way these people that come into your life and the world is full of them, that you don't get caught up in this trap where you invest everything and then you've got you're completely depleted. Like your bank account has just been depleted after they leave. You don't have anything left. So we really need to learn to not give people that much power over us, or to be healthy on our own and to feel solid on our own, to where when they leave, yes, we're sad, but we're not destroyed. We're not destroyed. And I just feel like that could be somebody's story out there, because that was mine when this person decided to just discard me like I was a piece of shit trash. And then I got to hear all the wonderful things they said about me on their way out too, which made it even worse. And for a very long time, I felt like I was nothing. And I still do battle certain demons in my head and traumas based off of what that person said and did. But I'm stronger now, and it doesn't affect me quite the way that it did once before. So now we have the nomad. Temporary relationship. Yeah, this is this person here. You're dealing with somebody, I'm sorry to say, they're not someone that wants to invest. They're going to treat the next person just like they treated you. And if the next person that they get with, they marry, and then because I've heard that before. I literally have. I'm going to tell you right now, this person is going to use that individual as their primary source of supply, and then go off and probably behind this person's back, they're going to keep looking for the next flavor, because this person can't settle down. This person is just an individual that doesn't want to really, really invest their time in anyone. They've got their own traumas, is what I'm trying to say, you guys. They're not able to commit to anything. It may be, and we're not even looking into this person, because this isn't really about them. It's about you. And just realize, though, that this is not a personal thing. It really isn't. This is just who this person is. So try not to allow their personality and their crap to define who you are. Don't give that person that much power over you. Please don't. I know it's easier said than done, but let's go into my Dark Night of the Soul Tarot now. Abandoned ship, Eight of Pentacles. Okay, yes. So the Eight of Pentacles, of course, is a card of showing up and putting effort into a situation. Obviously, this person may have ghosted you. They may have just abandoned you when things got tough. They may have just abandoned you for another person. That could have happened as well. But whatever the situation is, it could be triggering abandonment issues within you if you do have them. That's not going to be for everybody. But it does suck to be abandoned by someone that supposedly cared about you. But if you look at it from the aspect of this person, I feel, is not even able to really invest and care for anyone, then you won't take it so personally. It wasn't as important to them, and they weren't as invested in you as you were invested in them. And I know that that's a sucky truth and it's a harsh reality, but when you can start plugging more into that and not taking this so personally, I feel like you will be able to abandon this idea that this person was that great, because really they're not. That's just another story that you have in your head, that this person is so fantastic, that they're so wonderful. Believe me, you guys, I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. I had the story about this person for so long. I thought that they were just so great, so beautiful and just all these things. My God, it could be further from the truth for me. That person might be great to someone else, or they might be great on their own, and we just weren't great together. But for me, the way I was not getting my needs met at all, and the way that they exited and the things that they said about me was really, really shitty. I wouldn't want anyone like that in my life. I wouldn't stand for that treatment. This person has never apologized or anything, either. So again, that's not the kind of person that I would want in my life anyways. So thank God, right? Thank God I was able, and I was abandoned by this individual, because I wouldn't be in the partnership that I'm in today had that not happened, right? So sometimes we can thank our lucky stars that maybe these people, or maybe even the universe, does for us what we can't do for ourselves, because I probably would have never left that situation. So now we have the Judgment, eye for an eye, and of course it's all the rage that comes up. It bubbles up in our systems. Yes, I had thoughts and visions that were absolutely horrible and rageful for so long towards this individual. And then in 2017, when I had an awakening, it was just like, wow, like all of that transmuted, okay? And it felt really, really good. But and instead of being on a high cloud with that, and I think I misinterpreted a lot of the energies that I was experiencing at that time with that person, The journey that I'm on right now has helped to kind of balance me out to where I could finally let that person go in a very healthy way for me, and empower myself and move forward in a new direction. So everybody's journeys are different. Everybody's exposed to certain belief systems, I feel, for their own reasons. No belief system is wrong or right. It's how it works for you. And I just feel like it helped me to let go of a lot of the rage and a lot of the power that I was continuously giving to that person. So had I not gone through that heart chakra opening and spiritual awakening back in 2017, I wouldn't have been able to get to the place that I'm at today, which is I just see that this person has their own issues just like me. It was never personal. It was nothing really to them. And I can walk away because I'm just no longer invested in that story. I'm no longer invested in that trauma. I finally cleared it and healed it. And it did take a long time, but I finally have, and it feels really, really good. Yeah, look at that. The world. Anything that you need to clear up will have a way of finding you. So I'm just going to share this with you guys. I was wounded back in 2007. Carried that wound for a very long time. Moved here to Arizona. That's when I came together with Mr. Moon. Mr. Moon and I married in 2014. I was still carrying that wound. That's why back in 2017, even though I was happy in my relationship, that didn't matter. It was still something inside of me that was not finished. So it took new philosophies and things that I learned in 2017 to bring me back into this wound, this unfinished business. And guess what? I finished it all on my own. There was a fantasy part of me that envisioned that perhaps this person would reach out to me and apologize and, tell me all these things and would really help me to close up that chapter. It never happened, but I finished it on my own. I did. I finished it up on my own. So I am very grateful for all of the journeys that I was on and the journey that I'm even on now. I don't judge it. I don't say, oh my God, it was false, it was wrong. There's a lot of people that do that. They go through certain things and they're like, oh yeah, that's not good, that's bad, that's toxic, that's this. I just feel that every philosophy, every belief system, every journey in life is helpful to us when we need it. And I needed that back in 2017. I don't need it anymore. But I know that a lot of you guys are on certain journeys right now. And I think that it means different things for different people. For me, it just didn't mean what the rest of the collective is talking about. That for me personally. But I'm finally comfortable with the end of that story, and I feel really, really good. And I'm super grateful actually for that journey. It really, really helped me. Okay, it really did. But I love that it's coming through. The world is, we have an opportunity to finish this business once and for all. Let's learn this lesson. Let's heal these wounds. Let's clear this trauma. And it doesn't mean you're going to be perfect from here on out, but you're going to suffer so much less if you can finally let this situation go and see it for what it truly was, which is someone that is a really great teacher for you in this life. And who knows? It's different for everybody. Maybe some of you guys will come back together with this person at a later date. But right now, if it feels toxic and heavy to you and it's just killing you deep down inside, that's why all of this is coming up, because it's giving you an opportunity to no longer abandon yourself. Start showing up for you. And when you do that and you pull out of all this unnecessary crap, then you're going to be able to finish up this cycle once and for all and finally love yourself and be a better version of you moving forward. And you can say thank you to this person instead of maybe hating on them. However, that's happening for you guys. All right. So how does this situation and wherever you guys are at right now, how is it affecting your other relationships? And, I'll share this. How did that wound affect my relationship with Mr. Moon? I didn't think it affected it that much at the time, but in 2020, reality came crashing down for me. And that's when I realized that my behavior and where I was at and the things that I was giving time and energy to were affecting Mr. Moon. So it was a make it or break it. We decided to make it, and we're still making it today. So we always have choices on our journeys as well. All right. So let's take a look and see how our relationships, how this situation is affecting the relationships with other people around us. Sometimes when we're focused on the past, We're not even able to really focus on the people that are in our present lives. So we're really doing a disservice for ourselves and those connections because we're lost in the past. We're swimming in a sea of nostalgia. We're focused on maybe even the future of I'll be happy when, and we're not focused on our present moments, and the present, we'll never get it back. We'll never get it back. It will become the past as well. So try to enjoy these precious present moments. Really, really try to do that. And your quality of life will improve. This is my Divine Feminine Healing Oracle. Oh my gosh, this is exactly what I was just saying. I swear it's like Spirit is just like bam, 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 just confirming here. I focus on the experiences in my journey rather than the destination. So again, when you can focus on smelling the roses and appreciating who you're with or where you're at right now, your quality of life and mental state will improve. Okay? This is the Intuit Tarot. 8 of Coins, dedication to the craft, being basically dedicated to where you're at right now. This will actually help you. So this says sticking to it, working mastery of the self, and being committed to where you're at right now on your journey. So how this affects your relationships with others, it helps to improve those relationships because people that are in your life know that you're in it with them. They know that you're, if you've made a commitment to that person, you're committed to either the marriage, or you're committed to the relationship, or you're committed to being present and experiencing life with the people that are around you. They feel your presence. They don't feel that you're checked out, swinging around in 5D or somewhere else, right? We have Huntress. They also feel your power. So when you're in this energy and you're present, you're in your power. I know what I want and I am no longer afraid to get it. So you're a Huntress. This is beautiful. So to me, once you guys make this shift, unless you already have, people are going to feel your presence. They're going to feel your power. They're going to feel your energy. And I feel like this is going to create better experiences for you guys. You're no longer going to be having a relationship with a ghost. You're no longer going to be swimming in that sea of nostalgia and just staying in that state of mind where it's just like, oh my gosh, just swimming. Now we have the Wheel of Fortune, a decisive moment. Wow. Chance, life cycles, karma, destiny, good luck, expansion. It's time for new fortune, fate, and change. So this to me says that the cycle is done. That's why unfinished business came up the world. This cycle with this person, you guys, if you really, really choose it and want it to be, can be done. You've learned your karma and it served its purpose, but now it's time to move forward. And sometimes that's really hard to hear. And sometimes we'll be very resistant and say, no, no, no. But if you're open to this reading and you're ready, I'm getting here, you can choose it. You can start to choose to go after things and no longer let your fear with this situation or whatever has caused you to be playing it small and safe. You're going to step into more of an empowering position and you're going to go after the things that you want to build in this life. And you realize that just by sitting around and hoping and praying for change doesn't cut it. You're going to have to co-create with spirit. You're going to have to put yourself out there. You're going to have to do some work. It's not going to be easy. People that promote that you can just, think positive thoughts and suddenly you're going to get everything that you want. Yes, there's something to that, but there's more to it than just that. You actually have to dedicate yourself and your time. And, you've got to put some effort and some elbow grease into the things that you want to create in your life. So unless you're Jesus and I don't know, you come here and you're so ascended that you're able to create things, miracles and walk on water. I don't think that's your average person. So I'm just saying for us average people, we do have to make some effort and we have to dedicate ourselves to the changes that we want to make in the life that we want to build. That's it. So this is amazing because how do these changes affect our relationships? It empowers our relationships. It actually creates some sort of outcome here. We're building towards something. We're actually making something. We're making the effort, and there's a payoff when we make that effort. So people that want to work with us and they're on the same page will come into your life. These karmic people or lessons are phasing out. So that's how relationships change. If you want it to change, they'll change. So how this affects the way that you see yourself. Let's take a look at self energy here. What is the way that we see ourselves? This is called the Essential Oils Oracle. So here's the negative and then the positive ways that we see ourselves. Okay, so this person could have triggered, or just this experience has triggered perhaps some of these things within you. Let's read them. I am unlovable. I have no choice. I hate my body. Let me tell you something. These two right here, I knew I always had a choice, okay? But these two right here, I am unlovable and I hate my body, definitely connected to that individual for sure. I was at my lowest weight that I've ever been in at my life with that person. And it's funny because after this person, just discarded me like trash, and I heard all the horrible things that they said about me, I was at my lowest weight. I was fitting into my 14-year-old daughter's pants, her jeans at the time. That's how skinny I was, you guys. And so in my mind, I had it to where if I had been better looking, or if I had, had a better body, that this person would have loved me. Bullshit. It had nothing to do with that at all. I look back on those pictures, and even though I was really skinny, I was like, oh my God, I was smoking. I'm not saying that to be conceited, but I was just like, wow. Like, you look at pictures of yourself decades ago and you're like, oh my God, like I thought I wasn't skinny enough. Man, I'd do anything, to have that body, right? So everything that happened there was just really helping me to love myself for who I was. And it didn't matter what I looked out on the outside. This person was never going to truly connect with me or love me because they were either unable to, or I wasn't the one for them, or whatever, But that wasn't a reflection. Their treatment and what they said about me was not a reflection on me, but I made it about that. I took it into myself for so many years, and I raked myself over the coals for so many years, right? But I do hear this a lot though, and I'm gonna talk about it. I have a lot of people that say to me in the comments, or just their stories that they send to me, I have no choice. This is a soul contract. I've been told by another reader that we're connected for life. This is a soul contract, a soul thing that I can't break. It's a bond. It will never break. We're forever connected. That is your belief system. If that's bringing you empowerment and joy and happiness, great, keep doing it. But if that is causing you to feel like you're helpless, like you are connected to this person and there's not a damn thing that you can do about it, and that you don't have free will while you're here on planet Earth, then, it's just a way of thinking. You've got to get rid of and exit out of that belief system, because it's certainly not doing you any favors. So this right here, how you see yourself, you do have a choice. You are lovable. And your body, if you're not feeling good about yourself, that there's certain things that you can do to improve, then do those things. Do whatever it's going to take for you to love yourself. But really, you guys, it's really never about our external. It's usually about the internal. So once you start loving yourself, all of these things will start to fall into place, to where maybe you'll want to get back into shape, or you'll want to exercise, or you won't overeat because you're not feeling so emotionally, depleted. There's a lot of things that will change when we start to love ourselves. And I love that we have that as our first card. That to me is like, that's where it starts. That's where it begins. If you feel lovable and you love yourself, all of these other things will no longer be a part of your psyche. They will no longer be in your mind. They will no longer be issues for you. I love that. It's so beautiful. So a lesson that we must learn from this experience. Let's take a look. A lesson that we must learn from this experience. This right here is called the Soul Flower Oracle. A lesson that we must learn from this experience. Periwinkle, intertwining. All is well. All is as it should be. Periwinkle is here helping you to weave together all the lessons and experiences of the past and all the wisdom gained so that you can move forward with understanding, compassion, and forgiveness. Growth is assured as you find the courage to examine and explore new facets of yourself. Oh, God, that's so gorgeous. I love that message. So, this right here is a lesson that you must learn from this experience. Take these lessons, weave them all together, even if some of those lessons have been hard, because that's how you're going to find yourself, is through all of these things. Take the wisdom, okay, and have the courage to face maybe some of these ugly truths that are uncomfortable, those shadow aspects of yourselves. So that way you don't have to repeat these patterns or these lessons moving forward, okay? So do the work now so that way you don't have to keep repeating this. So let's go ahead and see what else we need to know here. This is my Treasure Trove Tarot. Wow, Seven of Cups. Well, you guys, I always see the Seven of Cups as our heads being in the clouds, right? Imaginative ideas. Our imagination is a wonderful thing, but it can also be a negative. That part of our brain that has the ability to dream and to fantasize and to visualize can sometimes, if it's with the wrong people or the wrong energy that we're tapping into, well, I hate to use the word wrong, but let's just say it, if we're dealing with a toxic person, you don't want to let your fantasies or your mind carry you away to faraway places that aren't even based in reality. So I just feel like there is a lesson that we can take from this, which is don't assume things right off the bat. Try not to plug yourself into things that just don't seem like they're based in reality. It's kind of like that's what the ego and the shadow self is for, is to kind of like help to balance us sometimes. So it's not a negative thing and it's not something that we should condemn. It's there to save our ass in situations, right? And sometimes if you find yourself just kind of you're floating around in the clouds, it's taking you to far off places, but the reality just never seems to match up. That's a clear indication to use your discernment when it comes to these decisions that you're making. Maybe try making some decisions based on facts and see how that kind of maybe works in the situation. It's okay to dream, and I do believe in magic, and I do believe that there are things that are very magical when it comes to soul connections with people. But to me, true divine love and magic, and like true divine love connection, is about people that are coming together, and that, they may have some issues and problems, but it's not based on abuse. It's not based on toxicity to the point where people are, just are giving up completely. I just feel that sometimes we want to take these situations that are really, really not good for us, people that aren't right for us, people that are even impossible, as in, your family doctor who's 50 years older than you. They're in their 80s and you're in your 30s. And I think I did the math right on that one. And they're married and they've been married for 50 years. And then suddenly you meet this person and you feel a connection. And you're just like, oh my gosh, this person's my person. Let's talk. Let's think about this, right? Let's think about that. And you watch your reading and this says, oh, this is your person. You guys are meant to be. Does it even make sense? It doesn't make sense. Okay. It doesn't even make sense. So sometimes we do have to bring ourselves back down to reality and say, you know what? And before I start intertwining all of my fantasy and all these feelings that I have for this person and project it all onto this individual, let me go ahead and take a step back and think, maybe I'm feeling something for a reason, but maybe it doesn't have anything to do with this person. It doesn't mean that this person and I are, meant to be together. Maybe there's just something about this individual that is showing me of what I'm looking for. Maybe there's something in their personality that inspires me to want to do something in my own life. Maybe it's just limerence, right? Look that up, you guys. Limerence. Sometimes it does happen. I've been very limerent when it came to certain people too, where I was just like, oh my God, that's not even based in reality. But for some reason, my mind is taking me to places. I don't know why it's happening, but there's something about this individual where I just feel drawn to them and it doesn't make any freaking sense at all, right? And then usually, like after a month or two, you're just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, you pull yourself out of that. But I just think that the reason that this is coming up is a lesson that you must learn from this experience is that fantasy is a beautiful thing and dreams are amazing things, right? But like get rich quick schemes, sometimes if it's too good to be true or it doesn't make sense, it's usually because it's not real or it's not based in reality. And it doesn't mean you can't dream, and it doesn't mean you can't feel magic between people. And it doesn't mean that there aren't magical connections. There are. But if we find ourselves getting carried away with magical thinking and it's destroying our lives or the lives of other people, there's nothing really divine about that. Okay. Knight of Swords. Yeah, the Knight of Swords basically is saying here that our thoughts are, our determination to make something work. Again, is it for the highest good for everyone involved? Or are you going to be hurting yourself or others with these ideas that you have? Is connecting with someone or trying to enmesh yourself with someone that doesn't want commitment or doesn't ever want marriage. Is that really a good idea? Let's use our minds. Let's use our critical thinking. Let's use our rational thinking and start making decisions that are based on what's good for us, not what we want sometimes. And we have the King of Pentacles. Look, what I'm going to tell you guys is that if you guys are searching for Mr. Wonderful or Mrs. Wonderful, whoever, doesn't matter. King of Pentacles is a real catch. The King of Pentacles is someone of value. The King of Pentacles is someone who's stable in your life, right? So I feel like what you're supposed to learn from this is how to value yourself. And when you value yourself, you're going to attract that same kind of vibration in another person. And I'm also getting to look at the situation as someone that has influenced you in a certain way, that has helped you to kind of take a look at things that maybe you wouldn't have taken a look at before. So again, we can thank this person for their time and their energy in our life, no matter how shitty it was, and just say, thank you for the lessons. I'm saying, say this to yourself. Thank you for the lessons, but now I'm ready to move forward into more valuable relationships or to match myself up with people that are really going to see my true value. And how can people see our true value if we don't see it? So if you don't see your true value, don't expect this to show up. Work on it. Be the King of Pentacles to attract a King of Pentacles in your life. That's what I'm getting. So that's what you're supposed to learn from this whole situation, is how to be the King of Pentacles in your own life. And when you can do that, you're going to attract that in other people. So how can you begin to cut cords with this person? Let's see some things that we can do. This is not rituals or anything. These are just behaviors that we can, and attitudes that we can shift and change by loving ourselves. So this right here is called the self-care wisdom cards. Make you a number one priority, okay? That's the intention. Make you, yourself, a number one priority. Don't make someone else the center of your universe. Make you the center of your universe. That's one thing that you can do today to start changing that behavior. We also have truth. So this is about discerning between our what our hearts are wanting versus what our heads are telling us, or our higher self, our intuition is telling us. Learn to know the difference, right? So we have our heart here. Is it, but I got signs. I got signs that this was my person. You got signs that this person that's cheating on you, that can't settle down, who's married, you got signs that this is your person. Well, if they are your person, they're not your right now person. They've got to clear up that junk and they've got to make some changes in your life to become your person. But right now, there's no way that spirit would be trying to keep you stuck and hung up on a person that is that all over the place. So again, this brings us back down to reality. Why would Spirit want you to continue to put your life on hold and invest for someone that is just either treating you like crap or is not available? Why is Spirit doing that? Doesn't make any sense. So we've got to find a way. So when we're loving ourselves, we're not even getting caught up in those situations. When we love ourselves and we value ourselves, we're not getting involved with people that treat us like shit or don't make us a priority or are not available. We're not doing that. So it all starts with the improvement with ourselves. If we can improve ourselves, then we're living in our truth. We're going to only deal with people that are also in their truth. So if you're a person of integrity, you wouldn't get involved with somebody that is lying to their spouse or their girlfriend or boyfriend to be with you. You just wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it. And that's not a judgment there. And I'm not trying to condemn anybody that's in that situation. I get it. We all have our own feelings and defects or whatever. I've not always made perfect choices myself, so I'm not judging you guys. But it's kind of like a hard knock reality, which is, sometimes things are just that black and white. And sometimes you have to hold yourself accountable in those situations. And if you're in your own truth and integrity, you're not going to be in those situations to begin with, or you're not going to deal with it. So we have friend. This to me is about being your own best friend. Remember, treat yourself the way that you want other people to treat you. And that doesn't always work either, because sometimes we still do attract people that are rotten. But the more and more that you learn to fulfill your own happiness, to spend time with yourself, to value yourself, you're only going to improve as a person, and you're going to be able to discern and have less of an attraction to people that aren't really there for your best interest. You're going to only become attracted to people that are really of that same vibration. So it's not that you're not going to attract those people, because this world is huge and there's lots of people in it, but your attraction to those dickheads are not going to be as strong. You're going to lose your desire for those types of people. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. All right. So this right here is called the Blank Slate deck because it says an oracle deck for difficult times, from All Things Intuitive. What else can we do to shift our vibrations so that way we can begin to cut ties with this person and let them go? What can we do? Allow yourself to feel your feelings. Absolutely. And I say this all the time. The only way that you can heal is to feel it. So this whole spiritual bypass, pretend it's not happening, only think positive thoughts. I get the philosophy behind it, but it doesn't do the work. It doesn't get you healed. You have to feel it in order to heal it. And that goes for shadowy feelings too. You just don't want to marinate in it for too long. So if you feel pissed, beat a pillow. If you feel like you need to say something, write it down on a piece of paper and then burn it. You feel a certain way for a reason. Honor it. Okay? So allow yourself to feel what you're feeling and process it. Take a hot bath or shower. Do this all the time. Man, that really creates just a complete and total head change. So if you're feeling a certain way, make sure that you're making time for you to take care of yourself, or just put yourself into a state of relaxation. It doesn't have to be a hot bath or a shower. It could even be a jacuzzi if you have one, but it doesn't have to include water. Do something that's going to allow you to relax. This could be breathing exercises or just giving yourself permission to even take a nap. Reach out to others for support, and that is very important. A lot of times when we're feeling really crummy, we tend to isolate. I do that a lot myself. And as soon as you talk to somebody, you're just like, oh my God, why wasn't I doing this all along? It's so nice. It feels so good to know that other people are going through similar situations, or sometimes just even taking a little bit of a break from your own problems and listening to someone else. That can also create a little bit of a shift for you. This is my Shift Your Vibes deck, a suggestion deck. Talk about shifting things up. Let's get some suggestions here. We have Color Splash Home Improvement, and I love this. To me, your home could even be your body. All right. Maybe it's time to just step out of the box. Maybe get a new outfit, or change your hair, or get your nails done, or do something different than you would normally do. But this could literally be home improvements. Make some improvements within your home. Start with your home. And I feel like that's a good reminder from Spirit. We might want other people to change, but really the only way that we're going to experience real true change is by going into ourselves and changing ourselves first. So let that be your priority. Let that be the way that you let this person go, is by improving yourself. You will naturally let this person go. Gardening, growth mindset, yes. It could even be that we spend some time outdoors. That's always a wonderful thing. I know whenever I spend time outdoors, I always feel so much better. But growth mindset. So this is about really, really focusing on things that you can change. If you can't change somebody else, change yourself, right? Think about and put your time and dedication and energy into things that you want to invest in, things that you're seeing a payoff. You're seeing it's growing. When we see growth, we feel good about that, and we want to keep watering that plant because wow, it's worth my time, it's worth my investment. So as you're in this growth mindset and you're putting all that time and dedication and effort into yourself, you're going to start seeing the positive changes. So you're going to want to keep doing it more, right? When you keep putting more and more time and dedication and effort into a person and there's no payoff, you just feel defeated. So I'm just getting here that you guys are naturally no longer doing that. You're naturally investing elsewhere, and that elsewhere is yourself, and there's a payoff. Things are improving in your home, your body. Look at you. Yes. Get away, recharge those batteries. So if some of you guys need to take a break, maybe a break from people, social media, talking to somebody, whatever, do whatever you need to do to recharge those batteries because it is important. All right. This is my Arrows of Love Tarot. I love it. I am getting here, you guys, that some of you, and it's up to you. Personally, me, I don't need to actually speak to the person or send a message to this person, but I can write my thoughts down and get it out there, and then I can burn it or tear it up or whatever. And that right there moves the energy. So we are getting a suggestion with the Eight of Wands, you guys. Some of you may want to communicate to this person, give them a last final kind of goodbye or whatever closure. Or some of you guys might do this as like a ceremony, and it's just to yourself. You don't have to actually communicate with this person. But this is, of course, telling us it is time to move. It's time to move towards new things, things that inspire us, things that enlighten us. And I just feel like the energy of this situation, the flame has gone away. And now it's time to light a new flame. Yep. I'm telling you guys, the world, it's like it's done. It's full circle. It's time to close the door so that way you can light a new flame in your life. That's what Spirit's trying to tell you. And I also feel that this is a letter and burning it. Some of you guys are going to do this ritual here. Even though I said that I wasn't really going to do ritual suggestions here, it's coming up naturally. You guys are going to write something and then you're going to burn it. And that is really going to help to kind of get you into that mindset of letting this go. And if you have to do it more than once, that's totally fine too. But it's going to start proving to you that you are ready to let this go and move forward with your life. All right. So how will your life improve once you make these changes? Let's take a look. This right here is my kitty cat oracle. It's my Tall Tales cat crew. How will your life begin to improve once you make these changes? I love this. You're going to go more with a flow. You're going to let things go. So I definitely see that your life improves. You're letting this go. This is you in the future. You're in a more relaxed state. Just a more relaxed energy here, and it's very positive. And what you're doing also too is because you're being more loving with yourself, you're attracting more loving people into your life. So that's you in the future. Fantastic. And we have you are safe. Oh my gosh, this is so fantastic. So this message here, I believe, actually said all is well. All is the way it should be. you are safe. So there's a lot of acceptance in the future that you guys are just naturally feeling, because why? You've decided to love yourself. You've decided to go in more of a loving direction. You've lovingly let this person go, and you're loving yourself more because of it. This right here is called Spirit of the Animals. Let's get one animal here for you guys. We have the hummingbird miracles. Oh, first of all, hummingbirds to me are about sweet. It's about the sweet nectar of life. Taking the time to see the world, where we're at this particular time, who we're with, what's going on. Just really, really sucking the joy in that moment, suckling on the joy of a moment. So these hummingbirds bring joy to your life. You feel blessed and you're in a state of gratitude. I love that this is coming up this week because, some of you, even if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, it doesn't matter. A lot of people throughout the month of November really turn to reminders of gratitude. But this says here, this energy is soaring to you of joy and positivity and blessings, because you're now sucking on the joy and the nectar of life. You're participating, you're experiencing more joy and happiness. So that is you in the future, you guys. That is so amazing. I just love it so much. So anyways, you guys, that is what I have for you. I know it was a very long reading, but I do hope it was helpful to someone out there. And, just take what resonated for you. And if you guys want your own personalized version of this reading, or because you watched this reading, you're like, hey, I'm ready now to let this go. I've got a reading that's called Old Love, New Love. And so what we do is we kind of examine the past with this person, and then we go towards what is up and coming for new love for you. So I'm going to put not only this reading of cutting your cords, but also Old Love, New Love down if you guys want to, get that reading for yourselves. So thanks so much for watching, you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.